my dear followers and new visitors. Today we talk about first date and such an aspect of it as choosing a right food for this case. The first date is always exciting and sometimes embarrassing occasion. The spark of sympathy has already run between you and pretty Ukrainian lady, but your interest is shrouded in mystery and intrigue. It is the first date that shows whether it's worth continuing communication and whether it can lead to something more. Sometimes silly things might happen with two unfamiliar people on the first date. Nothing is wrong with that. This situation is quite normal. Take it easy and with humor. But in some cases you can prevent such situations. So let's talk about forbidden food on the first date with pretty Ukrainian lady. If you and your companion decide to go to a restaurant, it's important to know a few tricks and subtleties. Not all dishes from the menu are suitable for a first date. How to meet Ukrainian girl and not to be disgraced. Remember what kind of food should not be ordered at the first date. First is taco and burritos. Mexican cuisine is notable for its piquant taste, which is not good for everyone. Besides the specific smell from the mouth, don't forget about portions, which are usually very large. And inevitably you will not be able to eat everything, especially if you have never tasted Mexican food before. Choose the roll with vegetables and chicken instead of taco and burrito. This is a more neutral and convenient alternative. To exhilarate exotic eating habits will be possible at the next dates. Then goes lobster. Lobster? Are you serious? This dish is better to postpone not only to the second but also to some distant date. Lobster is a very whimsical dish which is not so easy to eat. On the first date you usually want to know more about the person in front of you and not to work hard with a fork and knife. Then forget about this delicacy and better take a salad with seafood. Corn. This of course is about boiled corn on the cob. This dish can't be eaten without using a dozen napkins. In addition, corn kernels can stuck in the teeth. The picture is clearly not for the first meeting. Also, if you do not plan to continue acquaintance and you really want to taste the corn, you can try. Then soup show to meet Ukrainian girl. Soups are difficult to eat without strange sounds. This is quite natural but hardly suitable for the first date. Of course, if you use the first dish from Diapers every day and do it perfectly, then order it. True, here you will risk putting your partner in an uncomfortable position, which will create unnecessary tension and embarrassment, and will inevitably affect the overall atmosphere of the evening. Verdict: soup for dating is not a good choice. Leafy greens. Everybody is fond of leafy greens. Indeed, it's very useful for the body and contains in its composition a large number of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. However, it's better to avoid leaf greens on the first date, since it has the property of being stuck in the teeth. Even if you never noticed it, you should not take risks. Not on this day. Soft drinks. With this point, everything should be more or less simple and understandable. Soft drinks typically contain carbonated water and provoke the accumulation of gases in the stomach, which in turn can lead to belching. You want to demonstrate only good manners on the first date, don't you? Then the answer is obvious: refuse from soda and especially from sweet soft drinks. Beans. Despite the fact that beans really are a valuable source of vitamins, protein, and other nutrients, they not just improve the digestive system, but can also cause bloating, flatulence, or even stomach upset. Therefore, it's better not to take risks this time. Cereal food. Pulling grains out of teas, even with a toothpick, is hardly acceptable for the first date. Do you agree? In your menu, you should minimize the food that can contain small grains. By the way, strawberries and other berries in the best romantic traditions also do not fit. Spaghetti. Delicious? I agree, especially when there are so many restaurants of Italian cuisine around where one wants to taste spaghetti. Nevertheless, there is nothing sexual about eating this dish. If you want something Italian, then it's better to give preference to fettuccine, ravioli or lasagna. They are much more convenient to eat. Wings and ribs. Barbecue wings and ribs which expire with oil and their aroma makes your stomach dance? Of course no. You can hardly taste them without help of hands. And here you are so beautiful and elegant, talking about spiritual and exciting start the meal. It's not necessary to describe the following picture of you. Hamburgers. Hamburgers are not aesthetically pleasing for the first date. Imagine, would you like to see the mouth of your interlocutor who is so wide open that he only managed to bite off a piece? You do not think so. If you can allow yourself only a date with walks around the city and fast food, let it be something else, but not a hamburger. Mashed potatoes. When cooking mashed potatoes, they usually add milk, sour cream or butter, and this can provoke bloating, and if you are hard at digesting dairy products, then you will get a discomfort and unpleasant sensations in your stomach. If you absolutely want potatoes, just choose another meal. Onions and garlic. These amazingly useful vegetables not only have a sharp and unpleasant smell immediately after their consumption, but this particular flavor can be held in your breath for 2-3 days. If you eat garlic even a few days before a date, how to meet Ukrainian girl then? If she can feel its smell? In addition, it's not so good to feel yourself in stomach. Some kinds of cheese, in addition to the fact that cheese is heavy for the stomach, some of their species, for example sheep's cheese or Parmesan cheese, can leave an unpleasant smell and aftertaste. Exotic food. On the first date, do not try the food that you have never eaten before, for example oysters, mussels, snails or tartar from beef or exotic fruits. And not only because you can disgrace yourself not knowing how and with what kind of culture you have to eat them, but also because unusual food can cause unpredictable reactions of the body, including allergic ones. Pasta is a quick and easy way to add flavor without a lot of unnecessary calories in your favorite dishes, but this sauce is better to use at home. Yes, it's tasty and useful, but your girlfriend may not like its smell. Besides, the smell ingredients of the sauce are often stuck in the teeth. Spicy food. If you don't like spicy food, do not order them, even if you want to impress your lady, if suddenly she is a fan of this kind of food. You may get sick or you could think about it, how to put out the fire inside yourself, and this definitely will not help your communication. Cheese fries. It's delicious, but large pieces of cheese in deep frying are supposed to be eaten with hands, and talking with a mouthful of cheese is not the best way to attract a girl. So either order this dish together or choose something else. Milkshakes are foods that make you dirty. Milkshakes, like dairy products, can disrupt your digestion. At best, it can cause bloating and loud gurgling, which is worse than stuck pieces of food in your teeth, and at worst you can become a hostage to the men's room. Foods that make you dirty, this last item should be the first. It's difficult to look attractive when the whole face is smeared with sauce. Avoid spaghetti, hamburgers, cheese products or soups with noodles. Even if you try too hard to eat carefully, the food may fall on you, and as a result your clothes will be dirty and your first day will be spoiled. Subscribe our channel to know more information on do's and don'ts with Ukrainian lady during a date. And you can find our contact information under this video. See you soon, dears.